A Watertown man pleads guilty to federal drug charges. The Justice Department saying that 44-year-old Stuart Chambers traveled to Syracuse in January to buy a pound of meth and 9 ounces of cocaine, intending to distribute the drugs. The supposed buy, however, was a police sting operation. Yesterday, he pleaded guilty to attempted drug possession with intent to distribute and admitted that he had a previous drug conviction in Pennsylvania when he was sentenced in August. Chambers faces at least 10 years in prison and a fine of up to $8 million.